Agnes, and welcome back to another Wife Pick Wednesday right here on Surreal Cinemas with me, your host, not a train engineer. Today we're going to be reviewing The Christmas Train. So yeah, grab your cocoa, your eggnog, your spiced wine, and let's jump into it. So The Christmas Train is a 2017 Hallmark film starring Kimberly Williams Paisley, Dermot Mulroney, and Danny Glover. And I have to say that I didn't think I was going to like this movie, and I loved this movie. I really, really loved this movie. This movie is full of life lessons, and I'm not even joking. It is right up there with Harry Potter in things that are relevant to everyday life. So Dermot plays a journalist named Tom. Danny Glover plays a director who is trying to convince his script writer to write her own script. This also has Joan Cusack in it, who's this god-awful busybody named Agnes. And she comes off weird from the very beginning, just weird. So Tom is writing this article. He used to be a war correspondent, and he's writing this article, which was the last wish of his father. So he gets on this train in DC, and he's riding it all the way to LA, and he's supposed to meet his girlfriend there. But he doesn't like her, and he kind of wants to break it off. And she kind of feels the same. And when he gets on the train, he meets Danny Glover's character, this major director, and his script writer, which happens to be Tom's ex-girlfriend. She was a war correspondent with him, and she left him. She left the job, and she left him one day. And they explain later on why. And I'm not going to go into that. You're going to have to watch the movie to see that yourself. There is a very interesting cast of company in this film. You've got a young couple who want to get married on the train because the boy is rich and his family doesn't agree with the woman who is from a very small town and no family background. So they're eloping and want to get married in a train station of all places on Christmas Eve, which could be romantic, I guess, if that's your thing. Not my thing, but that could be your thing. It brings up the fact that Tom was a war correspondent, brings up a very interesting dynamic between love and war. And the fact that him and his ex-girlfriend are fighting consistently for the first half hour of this movie, just trying to get over the fact that she left, and they both felt wronged and they both felt hurt. How do you love during war? How do you love when war is literally your job? The risks that you take, the things that you see, the things you have to process. How do you find love through all of that? How do you keep a hold of love through all of that? Is it even possible? We live in peacetime, and marriage is hard enough as it is. I couldn't imagine being in the middle of a war-torn country and trying to make a marriage work, build a family. So I kind of see Tom's point of view, but I also kind of see the script writer's point of view. So you have these two people who are trying to do pretty much the same thing. They're both trying to write. And you're doing that amongst this wild cast of people and these wild circumstances. I mean, you've got the busybody. You've got the old train conductor who got fired from his job for being too old, but knows what he's talking about. He's a veteran, and he keeps telling them that danger's coming because the clouds are getting darker, and if they don't make it over the pass, over the mountains in time, they're going to get stuck, which they do. They do get stuck. And and you've got this young couple who is in love, and then ironically, Tom's girlfriend comes on the train, and she decides that she doesn't want to break up. In fact, she wants to get married, which puts a wrench in everybody's plans when it comes to the couple. So how do you face your past mistakes? How do you move on? How do you start a new chapter when you have other people butting in? That's another really good conundrum of this movie. And I think that they handle it really, really well. And then you have a thief on board. Things just go missing. For one reason or another. Nobody knows who's taking them until the very end. And I'm not going to tell you who's doing it. I'm not going to tell you how this ends, because this is one I really, really think you should watch. And like I said at the beginning, it is just chock full of life lessons. I do want to say that I like the idea of traveling across country at Christmas on a train. I think it would be absolutely stunning. I'd prefer to do it without my children, maybe even without my husband. But I think it would be absolutely amazing to do. So you have Tom, who's trying to rekindle his true love. You have the script writer who's trying to figure out if that's what she wants or if she wants to move on. Does she really want to write a script of her own, or does she just want to continue doctoring other people's scripts? You've got a movie director who is kind of aloof, and Agnes, who is into everybody's business and knows everything about everybody on the train. And there's a reason for that. Again, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to watch it yourself. So yeah, this made me laugh out loud quite a few times. And it was such a heartwarming, feel-good movie that it's completely worth a watch. Honestly, guys. And so one of the life lessons in this movie was that life is like a chess game. You can either make the first move at the risk of losing the game, or you can wait and wait until your queen is gone and the game board is cleared. You have to take chances for the things you want, or the chance is going to just pass you on by. Yeah, let that sit in for a little bit. And I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Toodles.